first question.
Yes.
What is the fiscal cliff?
I don't know.
Can't actually remember half of any of them.
I don't know.
No idea at all.
What do you mean by that?
I admit I don't know too much about.
Last August, President Obama and Congress did something really unusual. They built a fiscal cliff. A cliff as perilous as this one. And they put the U.S. economy on course to go over this cliff at the end of the year, unless they come up with some alternative way to reduce the deficit by $1.2 trillion over the next decade.
Well, this isn't a progress report because there's no progress to report. When it comes to the fiscal cliff that's threatening our economy and threatening jobs, the White House has wasted another week.
Well, it's getting closer to the end of the year, and there's no apparent progress towards diverting away from the cliff. Here's what that would mean. Taxes would go up, a lot, for almost everybody. A broad swath of domestic and defense spending would be cut. It would be a huge blow to an already fragile economy. And forecasters say it almost surely would mean renewed recession.
You want to cut spending on the military, which now exceeds the military spending of the next 13 largest military spenders in the world combined.
Number 4, we spend a lot of money on defense. $700 billion on defense in 2011. That was 1 out of every $5 the government spent. Our defense budget is now bigger than the defense budgets of the next 17 countries combined. We spend more on defense than China, Britain, France, Russia, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Germany, India, Italy, Brazil, South Korea, Australia, Canada, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, Spain, and Israel put together.
America is about to go over the fiscal cliff. Are you worried? What should we do about it? This week, let's talk about that. Do you know what the fiscal cliff is?
No.
Do you think a lot of Americans do?
No.
So then why is the media talking about it incessantly?
What else are they going to do?
I guess I'm not as informed as I should be, but I just kind of figure it might work out.
Do you think most people feel that way?
No.
You think most people are worried?
I think they are, and I think that if I ignore it, it'll go away.
Do you think calling it something like the fiscal cliff minimizes it?
Yes and no. I definitely agree that it's a complex problem. I don't think it simplifies it, though. I think it adds an element of panic or fear and looming doom that.
And the media loves that.
The fierce battle to avoid that fiscal cliff took a new turn today. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner making a bold prediction that there's a good chance, he says, Republicans will go along with the tax hikes for the wealthy.
Yes, these days celebrities will spend anything to satisfy their vacation home fantasies. To star-owned private islands that offer unparalleled luxury in total seclusion.
Yeah.
Do you think there's actually something to worry about, or do you think it's something the politicians and the media use to distract us from what's really going on?
Politics and media, for sure.
So what's really going on that they're distracting us from?
Pack your bags and get ready for the ultimate getaway. This is the Fabulous Life presents Celebrity Vacation Homes.
They have to come to us and tell us what they think they need. What we can't do is to keep guessing.
So the ball is in their court?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And they understand that.
If we gave the president $1.6 trillion of new money, what do you think he'd do with it? He's going to spend it. It's what Washington does.
With respect to the tax rates, I just want to emphasize, I am open to new ideas. If the Republican counterparts or some Democrats have a great idea for us to raise revenue, maintain progressivity, make sure the middle class isn't getting hit, reduces our deficit, encourages growth, I'm not going to just slam the door in their face. I want to hear I want to hear ideas from everybody.
The typical American vacation home. It's 1,300 square feet, costs $190,000, and only 1 out of 10 homeowners is lucky enough to get one. But when you're a celebrity, the question isn't whether you have a vacation home. I want you to see this. It's how many.
And we just talk about the fiscal cliff.
Correct.
And we scare everybody.
Everybody and their sister, yes.
When celebrities are in the market for a vacation home, the first place they look is the beach.
And everybody wants to come to the beach. And if you have a beach house, you always have a lot of friends.
Yeah. And stars are buying their beach homes in sun-drenched paradises all over the planet.
So if they don't make a deal and we do go over the fiscal cliff, what does it mean for you? Well, nearly every American will pay more income tax as rates go up, between $2,000 and $2,400 for the average family. We've enjoyed a 2% cut in payroll taxes. That will disappear. And then the government will start cutting $500 billion in spending, half at the Pentagon. The other half will hit federal spending for everything from education, transportation to food safety and research. All of that could send all of us back into recession.
That's right, Malibu, the world's most convenient beach paradise for the Hollywood beach bunny or bum. Take Leonardo DiCaprio. From his Hollywood home to his Malibu beach crib, it's just 20 miles. Up, down, chrome spinning. Tom Hanks, 10 miles door to door. But Mel Gibson, when he wants to hit his Malibu beach house from his primary residence, he just walks.
Mel Gibson has always lived in Malibu, but sadly it wasn't on the beach, and that's not good enough for Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson bought another house that's within walking distance of his first house.
I can kind of walk around with relative ease.
The news tonight that a lot of ordinary Americans have been put on notice as we approach that fiscal cliff just 27 days away. People who are already having trouble finding a job are receiving a letter of warning about something to happen to them if Congress can't make a deal. And ABC's Jonathan Karl has that.
Melinda Vega has been put on notice. If Congress and the president don't get their act together, her unemployment checks will stop immediately at the end of the year.
We're dependent on that money to pay our bills.
She's been without a job for a year. Her $450 a week unemployment check, her lifeline.
When it comes to celebrity vacation homes, the Hamptons is the ultimate beach property. There's nothing that's too luxurious, too extravagant, or too over the top in the Hamptons.
The Hamptons. Located on the southeast tip of Long Island, New York, just half an hour from Manhattan by private helicopter, it sports 37 miles of beaches where celebrities can sink their millions into some truly over-the-top oceanfront retreats.
To be able to get away for the weekend here is fabulous.
When celebrities get a home in the Hamptons, they're not just getting a beach house, they're getting a beach mansion.
Oh, like Paris Hilton's Hamptons vacation home.
Check it out!
While it's valued at over $6 million, Paris will loan it to you for the summer for a mere $375,000.
We have an extra $375,000. This will be your perfect chance to get in Paris Hilton's bed.
Aren't you? Wow.
Yeah, baby! But Paris's 3-acre estate is a cabana compared to the most spacious Hamptons domains.
Who's the freshest of them all?
Take fashion mogul Calvin Klein. While everyone may know him for his skimpy drawers, there's nothing skimpy about his $30 million 10-acre tract in Southampton. It's got 12 bedrooms and a collection of 18 fireplaces imported from France, Italy, and England.
It's nice to have a fire in the evenings in the Hamptons, but that many fireplaces seems a little excessive.
That's what I'm here for.
Steven Spielberg, his $64 million Kell Farm sprawls across 14 acres on East Hampton's Tony Georgica Pond. Most beach homes have a tool shed. Steve's got horse stables and a riding ring, plus staff quarters and a guest house with some pretty impressive names in the guest book.
He's had Gwyneth Paltrow, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Bill and Hillary Clinton.
But there's one Hamptons home that tops all the rest, with enough space for a little bit of everything. And we mean everything. It's financier Ira Renner's 63-acre Southampton estate, dubbed Fairfield. This beachfront behemoth is the largest home in America. A 66,000 square foot mansion with 29 bedrooms, 30 bathrooms, a 20-car garage, 2 tennis courts, 1 hard, 1 clay, a bowling alley, a gym, a spa, and sports fans, its very own indoor basketball pavilion. The price tag for Ira's big box beach home, $200 million. Only in the Hamptons.
Without a deal, unemployment compensation will end for more than 2 million people who have been out of work more than 26 weeks. Many of the unemployed started receiving the news this week from pre-recorded phone calls, like this one in Washington State.
Emergency unemployment compensation shuts off at the end of December, unless Congress votes to extend the program.
And of course, going off the so-called fiscal cliff means a tax hike for just about everybody who does have a job.
My late father, the economist Herbert Stein, had a few favorite quotations. One of them was from a European thinker named Oxenstierna, if I have that name right. The quote went simply, "Observe, my son, with what little wisdom the world is governed." This comes to mind as our nation is convulsed by fiscal problems, especially a titanic budget deficit.
But Miss Martha's isn't the only country compound on the block. Because now celebrities are resting and relaxing in the most maxed out country vacation homes money can buy.
My concern, I'm less concerned about red lines per se. What I'm concerned about is not finding ourselves in a situation where the wealthy aren't paying more or aren't paying as much as they should. Middle-class families, one way or another, are making up the difference.
Demand we go back to higher tax rates on the wealthy and eliminate their unfair tax loopholes so they truly start paying their fair share.
When celebrities buy country homes, they're turning their sights on England. Amazing 18th, 17th, 16th century manor homes.
Kate Winslet and Liz Curley, they're all buying up these English country estates, sort of putting their trendy celeb touch on it.
That's right. Today's megastars are spending millions on centuries-old English country manors and giving them a celebrity twist.
But there's another possible outcome if President Obama is reelected, and that brings us right back here. We could go over the cliff. Taxes would lurch upwards, spending would be cut blindly. It's not as unlikely as it may seem.
The wealthy have to pay their fair share of taxes. That's what the election was all about, and you won. It's only fair they pay more. They're taking home a record share of national income and wealth and have the lowest effective tax rate in living memory. They're taking home a record share of national income and wealth and have the lowest effective tax rate in living memory.
200,000. And the Grand Canyon, it covers more than 1.2 million acres. Add them all up, and what do you get? A piece of property smaller than media mogul Ted Turner's real estate holdings.
They're taking home a record share of national income and wealth and have the lowest effective tax rate in living memory.
But if we tumble over the cliff, it doesn't mean that we can't claw our way back up.
They still have a chance to come back and do it in January, and we don't have an immediate catastrophe. I mean, taxes spread out over the year, and spending cuts wouldn't all be in January. But it would be a demonstration to the world that the United States was not handling its fiscal affairs.
Of Mungo. Deep in the South Pacific, its 5,400 pristine acres include tropical forests, scenic reefs, and some badass blue lagoons. In the 19th century, the native Yabusa Guanivi tribe sold it to a bunch of Brits for 2,000 coconut plants. But in 2005, Mungo got a new owner. This guy, Mel Gibson. But Mel didn't pay for his vacation paradise and coconuts. No. He coughed up cold, hard cash. 15 million big ones.
So how does this all end? What will it take for Washington to move from yammering about the deficit to actually doing something about the deficit? Well, it could take a crisis, perhaps a stock market crash, perhaps an artificial crisis like the fiscal cliff. Or it could take an outbreak of leadership. And I honestly don't know which one is the least likely.
Check out exactly how these girls throw around their cash.
For Paris Hilton, dropping $3,000 is like having a coffee in the morning.
And learn the secrets of their multi-million-dollar success.
You just come in and in a day make $100,000.
You haven't seen it all until you've seen this.
I don't normally do hair extensions on dogs.
Think you're in for a glimpse of some sweet little angels? Well, think again.
Let's get it on. They dance on tables, they get naked, they kiss.
Get pumped, get sexy, and get the hell ready.
Don't move a muscle. It all starts now.
This is the fabulous life of Hollywood It Girls.
Takes away the sin of the world. And that's what he did for me. He took away my sin, and he gave me life. And he wants to take away your sin and give you life.